Hello and welcome on board this informative weekend edition of Jamaica Magazine. I'm your host, Theodore Henry. Thanks for joining us. Inside today's pages, early childhood facility upgrade on Western Roundup, health tips on breastfeeding and fats to avoid, plus house hunting with the NHD. Stick around. These and much more to discover right after the break.
Public passenger vehicle operators and commercial carriers. Renew your road license online. It's as easy as 1-2 click. Visit the Transport Authority website at www.ta.org.jm. Choose your license type and click Apply Now. Sign in or create an account with your email address and complete the application process, uploading all relevant documents. Make payment using a debit or credit card. Once your application is approved, the Transport Authority will email you to collect your sticker. Pick up your sticker in office or utilize our courier service. Once the sticker is collected, your digital road license will be emailed to you. For more information, call the Transport Authority toll-free at 888-991-5687.
Thanks again for joining us. Proper early childhood education is key to establishing a firm foundation for our children to grow. Team member Nikita Sterling visited St. Anne, where upgrades are taking place at an early childhood facility. Buckle up to learn more.
Hello there, and welcome back to another episode of Western Roundup. Today we share how tiny tots from a St. Anne-based school are benefiting from a much-needed upgrade of their learning center. Stay put, this is something you don't want to miss.
Studies show that the first 1,000 days of a child's life are critical to their development. That's why the Early Childhood Commission, ECC, is ensuring that all institutions which cater to our little ones are equipped to give them the highest quality education and learning environment to make Jamaica the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business. The latest institution which has been taking steps to qualify for ECC certification is Clapham Basic School, and from all accounts, the institution is inching closer and closer to its goal.
The school has been working for certification. They are not quite there yet, and one of the needs that they had is painting. So in our standard 4, we speak to the physical environment, and as you can see, it really needed a facelift. The environment was not aesthetically appealing, so that's why we're here today.
The school building received a facelift courtesy of the ECC, the Sandals Foundation, the Canadian High Commission, as well as Canadian vessel, the HMCS Margaret Brooke.
It is vital because we are up for certification, and we are at like 97%, and I think this the painting is holding us back. So I think our school now is painted. We will get our 100%, so we'll be certified in short order. On behalf of the Clapham Community Business School, we appreciate the crew, everybody, your excellency, you and your team, Sandals Foundation, everybody. We appreciate you coming and giving our school and our community a facelift. And words are inadequate to express our gratitude, and we are saying thanks from all of us here.
The Clapham-based institution also received school supplies, cleaning materials, and food items for the children. Students from neighboring communities including Blue Hole, Foreman's Hill, Swamp and Moneague also benefited from the donation.
So if you've got a clean environment, a safe environment, it's really going to help you learn. So they look at this and go, yeah, this is a good place to be, because you want school to be a safe place for kids to be, especially in a rural community where some of these kids are traveling far.
Well, I hope when they walk into school, they see a nice brightly painted school and it brings smiles to their face, and know that they're in a good place that will be able to provide them some good learning. it feels good, and you can hear the chuckles from the crew when they're painting. You can hear the smiles and see the smiles. So I'm pretty sure that pretty confident everyone's enjoying what they're doing today.
That's all for the program today. As usual, thank you for joining us for Western Roundup, where we take you from the corners of St. Elizabeth to the hilly terrains of St. Anne. Remember to send your feedback to jismobe@gis.gov.jm. Until next time, take care.
Access to affordable, safe and adequate shelter is important for securing the well-being of individuals and their families. In this next feature, we are exploring the opportunities available through the National Housing Trust.
Now is the time to build house. Now is the time to buy house. Now is the time to make that critical investment in your life.
If you're thinking of answering the Prime Minister's call, look no further than the National Housing Trust, NHT.
The NHT is following the mandate that they have been given, which is build house, build house, build house, and don't stop build house.
That's right. Since 1976, the National Housing Trust has been providing affordable housing solutions to Jamaicans. Established through an amendment to the National Insurance Act of 1976, the trust was formed by way of partnership between the government and public sector workers. The aim? To increase the housing stock available while providing financial assistance to the neediest contributors. Persons are able to build, buy, or repair their homes through the NHT by making contributions. That is, funds are deducted from one's pay in this revolving loan scheme.
Since 1976, we are proud to say that we've housed well over 200,000 Jamaicans and provided well over 100 housing schemes across Jamaica.
Persons may realize their homeownership dreams with the NHT by two main avenues. First, the trust develops housing units or serviced lots. The NHT also provides mortgage financing for Jamaicans seeking to build or buy houses, purchase land, or make repairs on existing homes.
While we're not a regulator, we have different partnerships between developers, between contractors, between financiers in the market as well to see how best we can improve the overall aesthetics and the overall housing product, whether it be public or even private as well.
As a result, contributors can combine funds received from the NHT with that of private financiers. And the trust has also entered into agreements with developers to give even greater access to home ownership. In addition to partnering on the construction of houses, NHT makes lands available for developers to build houses.
One of our newer programs that we are particularly proud of is our Guaranteed Purchase Program, GPP for short, where we actually liaise with developers who have projects themselves that they have built and have brought out of the ground or they are about to do construction on. And what the NHT does in those instances is the NHT buys the units from the developers and make them available to our contributors. And we think it's a good one because it's a win-win-win situation because the developers win, they are good at building. And so they're able to do it at a faster pace, but they are not good at selling. They're not marketers. And the NHT, as you know, has a ready market, so the NHT can take those from the developers. The mortgagors win because they get these units at NHT's preferential interest rates as opposed to buying them on the open market. And the NHT wins because we get the actual units that we know our contributors want.
If you're thinking of realizing your homeownership dream with the NHT, think on these things.
Once you're a contributor, the NHT will assist you. So we always say start with the NHT, but really and truly it involves research. And we find that persons sometimes jump into the housing business and then they get frustrated after a couple weeks or a couple months because they're not quite prepared as to what to expect. So we say come in, sit down, have a conversation with us, see what the loan products are, see what the interest rates are, see what your general mortgage options are. You may want to buy, But in that discussion, you realize that you have some piece of land that has been passing through your family and there's a title for it. You probably want to build instead, because that could turn out much cheaper than actually having to buy. So start with that conversation with the NHT, and our officers, they are always well equipped to guide you through the process. As you go through the process, there are different requirements, whether you're building or you're buying, that you will have to satisfy. But generally, we want to know that you're able to afford a mortgage. So we will look at your affordability, which is a big part of it. We have a one-stop shop where you can just partner with any of the other institutions, and we facilitate that process for you as well. So do the research, see where you are, see what the options are, and just come in, have a conversation with the NHT, have a conversation with your realtor, have a conversation with your mortgage provider, and just stick to the process. It generally takes about 90 days. So manage those expectations and ensure that you hire competent professionals to guide you through each step of the process, whether you're building, whether you're buying a house or you're buying land. Ensure you hire, can't stress that enough, qualified, competent individuals to guide you.
For further information on NHT products, be sure to visit nht.gov.jm or your local parish office. Contact customer care, we care at nht.gov.jm or call 876-929-6500 Your housing dream might just be a call away.
In observance of Nutrition Awareness Month in March, we're now turning your attention to proper infant feeding. As health experts say, breastfeeding is the best source of nutrition up to the first 2 years of a child's life. Let's look at how you can do so successfully.
If a baby mother is tired or something, I can play a part in feeding baby.
Me taking part in breastfeeding also helps in bonding, mother-child as well as father.
And I'm anticipating that he will be there supporting me throughout.
Babies are born with the reflex to look for their mother's breast. However, many mothers need practical support with positioning their baby for breastfeeding and making sure their baby is correctly attached to the breast to prevent sore nipples and discomfort in the first few days after birth. Breastfeeding takes time and practice for both mothers and babies, and support from a lactation consultant or other skilled professionals can help them overcome the challenges. Government, with the support of the World Health Organization and the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, has been creating a healthcare environment which protects, promotes, and supports breastfeeding. This involves the National Baby-Friendly Hospital Initiative, where hospitals are certified to global standards in facilitating breastfeeding and the health of mothers and infants. There is also the National Infant and Young Child Feeding Network. Public health facilities certified baby-friendly include the Alexandria Community Hospital in St. Anne, Princess Margaret Hospital in St. Thomas, Lioneltown Hospital in Clarendon, Port Antonio Hospital in Portland, Port Maria Hospital in St. Mary, and Mandeville Regional Hospital in Manchester.
It gives a framework that enables mothers to acquire the skills they need to breastfeed exclusively for the first 6 months, which is 180 complete days, followed by complementary foods and continued breastfeeding for 2 years and beyond. The aim is to give the best start in life for all newborns by creating a healthcare environment that supports breastfeeding as a normal, natural option.
WHO guidelines provide a 10-step approach to successful breastfeeding that is being followed by baby-friendly health facilities. This includes having a hospital policy that promotes breastfeeding and not infant formula, bottles or teats. It also makes breastfeeding care a standard practice and monitors the support being given. Baby-friendly health facilities are required to ensure staff competency through training on breastfeeding support strategies. Breastfeeding is also encouraged by the hospitals through sessions that discuss its importance for babies and mothers and teach women how to feed their baby. Healthcare experts are expected to encourage skin-to-skin contact between mother and baby soon after birth and help mothers put their baby to the breast right away, an important practice that helps the baby find and latch onto the breast, and one which, if done within 1 hour after birth and then frequently after, helps to establish breastfeeding. Mothers should also be assisted by health professionals who will give practical breastfeeding support by checking the baby's positioning, attachment, and suckling, and help mothers with common breastfeeding problems. Mothers are encouraged to give their baby only breast milk unless there are medical reasons, prioritizing donor human milk when a supplement is needed. The breastfeeding expert will also help mothers who want to formula feed to do so safely. Almost all mothers produce the right amount of milk for their babies, and production is determined by how well the baby is latched onto the breast, frequency of breastfeeding, and how well the baby is removing milk with each feeding. Baby-friendly health facilities ensure mothers are able to stay with their newborn day and night, especially if the baby is sick. This is also known as rooming in. They are also required to help mothers know when their baby is hungry and not limit breastfeeding times. Mothers should also be given counsel on the use and risk of feeding bottles, teats, and pacifiers. And they ought to be referred to community resources for breastfeeding support. Learning to breastfeed can take time and patience. It is a skill that mother and baby learn together, a skill worth having.
There's still more to share on the topic of nutrition and the impact on our health, such as the benefits of good fats and the dangers of bad fats in our food. As we can all agree, people need to eat to stay alive and well, but it's more than that. We must also be sure to avoid the wrong kinds of foods or overconsumption. More on that next.
The human brain is 60% fat. Fats provide a storehouse of energy for the body and promote normal cell growth and healthy skin. Fat also acts like a cushion and heat regulator to protect the heart, liver, and other vital organs. And as most people would know, fat adds flavor to our food and helps us feel full longer. It is clear that having fat in our diet is beneficial in many ways, but too much or the wrong kind can be equally harmful. Fat is a source of essential fatty acids which help the body absorb vitamins A, D, and E. There are 3 types. Monounsaturated and polyunsaturated fatty acids are both considered good fats. The third, saturated fatty acid, is what we are often encouraged to avoid or lower our intake. So too, trans fat, which is created by a process called hydrogenation that makes the fat harder at room temperature to increase the shelf life.
What is in our foods impact on the quality of our lives?
The World Health Organization recommends that trans fat intake be limited to less than 1% of total energy intake, which translates to less than 2.2 grams per day with a 2,000 calorie diet.
Studies have shown that saturated fat increases the amount of bad cholesterol, or LDL, in the blood and has no effect on the good cholesterol, HDL. Trans fatty acids increase the amount of bad cholesterol in the blood and also reduce the amount of good cholesterol. Diets high in these bad fats are linked to obesity, heart disease, and other cardiovascular-related problems. Trans fat also causes malformation of cell membranes and other cell structures in the body, leading to weak cell walls and abnormal cell function. They are not recognized by enzymes and can cause neural degeneration and diminished brain function. So why then is trans fat used? Well, taste and economics. Trans fat makes food stay fresh on the shelf longer and improves food texture and flavor stability. Based on a 2021 assessment of the fatty acids in commonly consumed foods in Jamaica, our intake is very high.
If you look at confectionery, you see how high the percentage is there, and it comes down in several of the other food products. Okay, this is just the percentage that have trans fat. Notice that the canned foods had none at all, or the beverages that we looked at had no trans fat. Okay? But this is just saying whether there was trans fat in the product. What we are even more interested in is which products had high levels of trans fat. In terms of the highest concentrations, more than 2% of fat as trans fat, we see the dairy products, and it goes down like that. And then when we now look at those that had the same products that had high saturated fat along with the trans fat, we see the figures here.
The Ministry of Health and Wellness is looking to change this and encourage better food production and consumption practices.
Healthier alternatives can be used that do not affect the taste or the cost of food.
Knowing what is in our food is part of the way forward. It is a lifestyle change to come through education, product reformulation, regulation, food labeling, and monitoring.
The elimination of industrially produced trans fats is part of a comprehensive policy package to prevent diet-related NCDs, which comprises mandatory food labeling, ingredients lists, nutrition panels declaring trans fats, interpretive front of package labeling based on nutrient profiles, restrictions on food marketing aimed at children and adolescents, mandatory standards for healthy food served in schools, and limits on sugar content.
It's not just about our resolve to do the right thing to consume what is in our best interest. That in and of itself is a challenge, because we have to now nudge, encourage, motivate, and in some instances legislate, I believe, certain types of actions to encourage better quality of life from a nutrition consumption standpoint. I think it is essential to advocating in the first instance for voluntary compliance as an immediate response.
As consumers, we have the choice of using naturally occurring unhydrogenated vegetable oils such as canola, safflower, sunflower, or olive oil. We can also limit red meat and choose lean cuts. It is also recommended that we steam, boil, or bake foods instead of cooking them in fats or oils. Another approach is to choose low-fat dairy products, poultry, and fish, and purchase processed foods made with unhydrogenated oils rather than partially or hydrogenated vegetable oils or saturated fats. Use soft margarines as a substitute for butter and choose soft margarine over the harder stick forms. Limit consumption of commercially fried foods and baked goods made with shortening or partially hydrogenated vegetable oils. Not only are these high in fat, but it is also likely to be trans fat. And cut back on foods high in dietary cholesterol. Let's eat healthy and live well.
Taking you now through these few remaining minutes in our half-hour Jamaica Magazine journey, it's time to talk about the essential oils industry and why you might consider a business venture in this field.
Essential oils are basically extracts made by steaming or pressing various parts of a plant, such as the flowers, bark, leaves, or fruit, to capture the components that produce fragrance. Increasing use and demand for these oils offer significant possibilities for entrepreneurship and wealth creation. And more Jamaicans now have the opportunity to tap into this income stream through the newly created Jamaica Business Development Corporation JBDC Essential Oils Incubator. The global essential oils market is growing steadily, and according to Markets and Markets Research, it is projected to earn $15.3 billion in 2027, up from its current market size of $8.8 billion. To secure a slice of this pie, planning and implementation for the JBDC's Essential Oils Incubator project began in 2021. It followed a review by the Public Investment Management Secretariat (PIMSEC) and approval by the Cabinet. The project seeks to stimulate more local entrepreneurship development and support for rural and vulnerable communities, import substitution, and promotion of export.
So we actually got 15 million as seed money to set up the incubator. And that for us was a major achievement.
Farmers growing plant materials for the essential oils industry can now utilize the facility to add value to their production and even more. The impact of increased homemade products will be significant in reversing the current trend, where about 80% of essential oils used locally is imported.
The model being promoted entails 1. A facility that provide incubator space for use by clients who will process their own raw materials, stimulating entrepreneurship within and in their surrounding communities. 2. Capacity building to be targeted to our processors. This group will benefit from trainings in product development, good manufacturing practices, supply chain management, and business development skills.
The JBDC Essential Oils Incubator is a 2,400 square foot facility. It is equipped with amenities for washing, chopping, and sizing raw materials, as well as steam distillation units of varying capacities. It also boasts a manual and an electrical 20-liter hydraulic press for mechanical extraction. This is useful for persons doing cold press oil. There is also a peristaltic filler and a small laboratory equipped to do some of the standard tests required on essential oils that will be produced in the space.
And when we say from concept to market, which is our byline, it means that the whole value chain have opportunities, and we want the oil to work, to get all the wheels turning, so that we really have full benefit at the end of the day.
The opportunity for business along the value chain extends from just farming the raw materials to operating a processing facility, supplying equipment and packaging, transportation, warehousing, and marketing. And if any of this strikes your passion, rest assured the JBDC is ready to take you from concept to market.
Calling all creators, join the JIS Creators Challenge.
We want to see your unique perspective on why you love Jamaica.
Whether it's through a Jamaican adventure, arts and craftsmanship, or Jamaican cuisine.
With party lifestyle or celebration of our Otamaniwan people culture.
Unleash your creativity in a video 1 minute or less, showcasing why you love Jamaica.
Follow us on all our platforms for more info on how to enter and prizes to be won. Stay tuned!
This is where we leave you on today's edition of Jamaica Magazine. Be here on this station tomorrow for more information you can use to transform your life. Until then, visit our website, jis.gov.jm, for this and other offerings. On behalf of the entire production team, I'm Theodore Henry. Remember, live good and take care.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.